Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I am your host, Ray Goots. It's year two. We're in the second year of this podcast, and we are kicking it off with Wrestlewar 92. But before we get into that, we have news. I'll never forget when we started this podcast, I think either our first or second episode, Vince McMahon announced that he was back with a vengeance. And it was a wild way to kick off 2023. And 2024 kickoff, there's been a lot of wild things going on. Do you want to talk a little bit about the news, and then we'll get into Wrestle War 92?
Yeah, bro. Everybody loves wrestling news. I guess that's one thing wrestling fans can all agree on. We love news and rumors. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what fan you are. We love news and rumors. Kick it off, Ray. What's the biggest news?
So January 1st, the first of the year, the very first thing that happened was The Rock showed up on Raw. He
One.
day one.
Yeah.
He verbally went toe to toe with Jinder Mahal, and then at the end of this segment, he was like, "Hey, Rock wants to go out to eat. When Rock gets to a restaurant, where should Rock sit while he eats? Should I sit in a booth? Should I sit at the bar? Or should I sit at the head of the table?" And everyone had a meltdown. Everyone started crying because they think Rock is going to take away the main event from dashing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. What before I get into my thoughts, what are your thoughts about The Rock sitting at the head of the table?
I think people were upset because they were expecting him to say, should I be eating it at the SmackDown Hotel? And
I thought he was going to talk about Poontang Pie.
yeah. I'm eating my poontang pie at the SmackDown Hotel at Know Your Road Boulevard.
Instead,
I thought he was
he went right into
gonna.
challenging Roman.
You know what was really funny about that promo segment he had with Jinder? By the way, Jinder did a good job too. I thought
Jinder did a really good job. Yeah.
Jinder knows his role. I'm supposed to be like this annoying foreign heel that makes stupid face, like that makes like really ugly faces, and I get dunked on by the popular baby face, right? He did his job. He did his role perfectly. But one of my favorite parts was when Rock mentioned Baywatch. Jinder goes like, "I didn't watch that movie," and then Rock like says something like, "Don't fucking talk when I'm speaking," and then he remembers one of his old catchphrases, and he goes, "Wait, Jinder, did you say so?" He goes back. He goes, "So you didn't watch Baywatch?" And then when Jinder's talking, he goes, "It doesn't matter if you watched or not." I thought that was because you could see the smile on Rock's face when he was just like, "Oh yeah, shit, this is where I could have easily done my catchphrase here." It was
Yeah.
great. I am all for Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I'm for it. I think Rock should lose, in my opinion. But how do
He's
you
gonna
feel
lose.
and what do you think?
Well, I I kind of feel like from a corporate perspective, if The Rock comes to you, like you have to think about this. I hate it when some other people say this. From a corporate perspective, Cody Rhodes had to lose. But here's the thing: if The Rock comes to you, he goes, "I really only have one match left in me. It's got to be this year. If not, we can't do it. I'm 53. I want to fight Roman. I want to put Roman over." And then I'll come back to hit rock bottoms, but this is the last match I have in me. If it, you got to do it. You can't not do it. You have to do it. Now, here's the thing. How do you get to it? Because I don't think you need the belt for that match. I don't think you need the belt at all. I think there's more heat if The Rock costs Roman the belt on the way to WrestleMania.
I think you're right. I see what you're saying. So maybe Elimination Chamber is it Elimination Chamber next?
Yeah, I
No.
think Rock. I think Rock costs Roman the belt at Mania. At Royal Rumble.
Oh, Royal Rumble. That's right. Royal Rumble is next.
I
Okay.
think Randy Cody. If let's say Randy wins the belt, then turns heel. Randy Cody. I think that's a good way for Cody to finish his story by beating Randy for the belt. There's a lot of history to build on. They can talk their way into stealing the show. I just kind of feel like if The Rock, if this is it, if you have to do it. You can't. I want Cody to finish. I want Cody Roman, but you kind of have to do it.
So it looks like for the Royal Rumble that is taking place on January
January, 2 days
25th,
after
by
my
the end of
birthday.
this month. It is going to be a three-way. There's a three-way happening. It's AJ
Tomorrow.
Styles, Randy or what?
Tomorrow night they're doing a three-way to determine number one contender.
Yes, on SmackDown, it's Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Winner of that will face Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble for the belt. And you're saying that you think Rock accidentally or he
No,
causes
Rock causes it.
Yeah. So then Randy Orton wins it. He has a belt, and then because there is history between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. That's true, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, because I agree. Rock Roman doesn't need the belt. And actually, if there isn't a belt, it's more it leads more to a you really don't know who's gonna win, right?
Yeah.
Because Rock can easily win that one then, right?
If the Roman has the belt, it's like he's gonna win. Like they're not Rock. We all know Rock was gassed after that little bit of physicality. All right, so he's got 3 months to get ready for this match. And if they have Elimination Chamber, which is the rumor, he's got 2 months. I don't think he can be ready in time for Elimination Chamber. So he's got 3 fucking months to get ready for this match. We all know he's not going to win the belt. So why do you keep the belt on Roman? You do the match, but why do you keep the belt on Roman? It takes away all the suspense.
Yeah, I agree. I think
You
that's a
want to know
tough
how
one.
you want to know how I would get the how I would get the belt off Roman? You want to know my theory?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if you remember, but at the NXT that went where Tony Khan had his fucking coke meltdown, crying about his mom and shit. In that episode, Paul Heyman, Ava Raine was like, I left Joe Gacy's group. Was it Joe Gacy she was with?
Yeah, she was with Joe Gacy, but
Yeah.
she left that group already.
Yeah, but hold on. Paul Heyman
Okay.
pulled her aside and said, I want to talk to you in private. And then 2 weeks later, she's working in management. This is my theory. Roman is gonna go to her to have her cost Randy the match at the Royal Rumble. You're in management now. I want you to screw over Randy. Like I want you to say ring the fucking bell so I beat Randy and get out of there, right? Like you're part of my family. And when she doesn't do it, he gets in her face, and then The Rock comes out because he's like, "Now you fucked with my daughter. It's one thing that you fucked with my cousins, but now you're fucking with my daughter." So ever since Paul Heyman had that talk with her, she's been in management. She's making decisions on NXT,
Yes, that's
and
true.
I
She is the
think
decision maker now. Yeah.
yes, and I think Paul Heyman did that so when the time was right, Ava Raine could make a decision that helps Roman. And I think when Roman calls her on it, that's when The Rock comes out and is like, "Enough. Now you're fucking my kid."
That would be good. I think that's pretty interesting. I think Rock would be down to get his daughter involved in WrestleMania. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
so like I
would.
think at the Rumble, Roman is like, just count the pin. Count the pin. You're in management. Fucking count. I'm gonna hit Randy with the chair. Count the fucking pin. And she's like, And then they all get in her face. The bloodline. Like, what are you doing? Like, fucking count, bitch. We got you this job, fucking
And
bitch.
while they're in her face, Ava Raine has that stupid look on her face where she can't close her mouth.
Yeah, and then The Rock comes out, and The Rock
Yeah.
just destroys the bloodline and puts Randy on top of fucking Roman, and is like, "I don't give a fuck about your record. I don't give a fuck about it. You talk shit to my daughter. You tried to manipulate her. Now you're gonna smell what I'm cooking."
Yeah, that's possible. God, I don't want to see her on TV or PLE,
But
but if it can happen. Speaking of PLE, isn't somebody using Premium Live Event now?
yeah, TNA. Well, they're not calling their
Yeah.
pay-per-views PLEs. They're calling their TNA Plus monthly events, which are like their in your houses PLEs. But
Mm.
Hard to Kill, Bound for Glory, Slammiversary, the big shows are still called pay-per-views. They are doing that. They've teamed with Endeavor. People thought tonight Triple H was going to announce that he's teaming with TNA. However, his big announcement has already been spoiled. The big announcement for tonight, which was there's supposed to be a big announcement. We're filming this on Thursday, the 14th. The 4th. I'm sorry, the 14th. Holy shit. The 4th. His big announcement, everyone thought was going to be like, we bought TNA. The big announcement is actually that Money in the Bank is in Toronto. That's the big announcement. I saw some fans. I fucking hate. I gave this guy a hard time on Twitter. Some fan was like, WWE just buys all these companies. It's not fair. And I went to him. I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. You fucking guys don't watch TNA. You don't support them. The minute that Tony Khan and Kenny Omega left, you all tuned out. What do you want TNA to do? Nothing they do gets you to watch. So what do you expect them to eventually do? You expect them to just lose money for another 20 fucking years? Like,
What
if you know what?
companies did WWE buy
What?
recently?
What
What
happened?
companies did WWE buy recently?
None. But he's
Exactly.
complaining that WWE's going to ruin this company. How dare TNA sell to them, or how dare TNA partner with them? It's like, but you're not watching. No matter what they do, no matter how good Josh, what's his name, Josh Alexander's
Oh.
matches are, you don't fucking watch. Okada and Will Ospreay are on the show. You don't watch. What are they supposed to do?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I, for one, would have loved it if they either bought TNA or said, we are going to start working with TNA. I would have loved it, but I guess it's not happening.
Well, remember, 13th is hard to kill, and Scott Demore, the Belewele, and we'll get into another Belewele in a second. He said, you're not going to believe who's going to walk through that door on Hard to Kill. So, I still say someone from WWE is going to show up at Hard to Kill. Listen, Charlie Dempsey, the Japanese wrestling nerds that I follow on Twitter, Charlie
Yes.
Dempsey has made all of them a believer in him. They love him. His excursion to All Japan has been a massive success in terms of the wrestling nerds viewpoint of him. And I think that you're going to see something from WWE on Hard to Kill.
So yeah, Charlie Dempsey. Let's read right into it. He went to All Japan Pro Wrestling, and he faced the Triple Crown champion Eddie Kingston in a pie eating contest. No, I'm just kidding. The real Triple Crown champion Nakajima in a championship match, and this was really big because it's very rare that a WWE contracted wrestler goes over to Japan. People say Nakamura went last year, but that was different. I'll tell you why. It was because the Great Muta, who was officially retiring, was going into the WWE Hall of Fame, and as a favor, he asked them, if I'm going into your Hall of Fame, could I get one of your contracted wrestlers for one of my last matches? And that's why it happened. Charlie Dempsey, WWE, and All Japan Pro Wrestling had no connection at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's no favors to be done. They just, I guess, really Regal asked, "Hey, can my son go there?" And they had him there, and a championship match, no less. Remember, Nakamura wasn't even in a championship match; he was like in a tag match. No, he was on a one-on-one, but this was like a championship match. So, very different. Um, Dempsey lost,
Yeah,
but
which makes sense. What's he supposed to do? Carry those belts around NXT?
exactly. But the thing people were like really curious about was that if Dempsey won, it would probably like kind of partnership going on. But I will say this: I would love to see more of a partnership between those two companies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really good. Finally, for the other thing, we're going to focus on AEW for a second, and I want to focus on Wrestling Reporters. Sean Ross Sapp this week said it's a lock. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné is going to show up at this Dynamite that just happened last night. He basically said it was happening. It was happening. And
Oh, you mean that's
he
different?
said that Mercedes Moné was going to show up last night on AEW and sign a contract, which he didn't.
Oh, you mean the same way Dave Meltzer said Andrade was going to show up on day one?
Yeah, and also CM Punk was supposed to he was not coming. Nobody wanted him. They don't need him. They're doing so great. They're doing so good they don't need CM Punk at all.
You see, things change, things
And,
change.
and she didn't show up. Instead, Belewele herself, Deanna Perrazzo, who was dressed like she was gonna go pick up her kids from preschool, she showed up and she's very excited. She cried because she's so excited by March to be working Rampage for the next 5 years of her life. But
You really cry?
yeah, she cried a little bit that she signed with AEW. The crowd gave a big pop because she is from New Jersey. She lives only 50 minutes away from Prudential. It was in Prudential last night.
Yeah, I know.
I was there. I was there, dude. I think
I almost went. I got invited, but
we had an extra ticket. You should have came.
Dave he asked me. He said I got a free ticket, but I had I had the stomach problems that night yesterday.
Well, they've got a big bathroom at the bed. Well, you actually were right by the men's room, and there was you could have pooped for all of Rampage. You would have had a better show. So, dude, I gotta say this. Hold on, I gotta tell you this. This was so fucking bad. So Sheeta fought Anna Jay, on Rampage, right? And Anna Jay does a reversal pin, and the referee counts to 3, but that wasn't the finish. And they just keep having the match till Sheeta wins. And they go on for like 3 minutes, and people were booing. Like he counted the 3, and they just kept going. People were booing their
Who
asses.
can you ask who the referee was?
I forget. I think it was the guy who, like, I don't know. I think it was the
Was it
same.
Rick Knox, the bald one?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Rick Knox is a really shitty referee.
I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this. There's no now you have now you have Maria May. You don't really need Anna Jay. I said that, and Mariah, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
The people I was with were like, "You don't have to, dude. I think she can hear you." And I screamed, "We don't need you anymore, Anna Jay." Anna Jay's not gotten better. I kind of feel like she got in with the Jericho NDAs, which we'll talk about in a second. I don't think you need her. I think she's just taking up room. I would fire her. And here's the deal: if she goes to TNA or if she goes to WWE, becomes a better wrestler, maybe you could pick her up down the road, and then she could become an even bigger star for you in AEW. I just don't think you need her anymore. She's kind of useless.
Mariah May is, trained in
Great debut last
Stardom.
night, by the way.
Yeah, how was her match?
Very good. The best match, though, and you should go out of your way to watch this, everyone, is Darby Allin versus Takesha. That match was insanely good. I couldn't believe how good that match was.
You mean
Everything
when they
else-
started doing that rolling German on the ramp?
Dude, they went insane. They went 90 miles an hour. Let me tell you something. Takesha and Darby, their storyline is so much better without Jericho. Jericho was not on the show last night.
He
I don't think.
wasn't.
No, you don't need
Curious.
it. But I just want to say this. I have a feeling, and then we'll get into Jericho, and then we'll get into Wrestlewar. I have a feeling that now they're purposely giving the dirt sheets bad info. They're purposely saying, "Oh yeah, Sasha Banks is going to show up on Wednesday." So this guy goes on the air and says Sasha Banks is definitely going to show up Wednesday night, and then nothing happens. Instead, it's Miss Benawidek. I think they're purposely doing this. I think they're doing this on purpose, and I think it's for the betterment, because let's say Sasha Banks is in the Rumble, you again, just like the CM Punk thing, you want guys like me and you to believe she's 100% not going to be at the Rumble. So when she comes out and wins, me and you are marking out like we're fucking little kids.
Yeah,
That's the best, because these dirt sheets are ruining fucking wrestling. They told everyone that CM Punk was coming back. How in AEW and so Daniel Bryan was coming out. How much better would it have been if we thought CM Punk and Daniel Bryan told AEW to go fuck themselves, and then they both walked out? How much better would that have been?
Like what happened with CM Punk at WWE.
That was a moment for that moment for the.
Honestly, that was crazy, and it was well
You were
done.
convinced. You were convinced he wasn't coming.
Yeah, I was convinced he wasn't coming, and all these fucking journalists, they had to backtrack because they look like idiots.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
actually, I always knew.
It was such a better moment, I think, because even I kind of lost hope, like when they put the trademark. But it was such a better moment to have everyone convinced that he was not coming back, and I think it added to the business. I think it added. My friend went and bought SmackDown tickets as soon as that show went off the air, because SmackDown was at Barclays that week. Like he ran to buy tickets.
And I think like when this day and age with the internet and everything, it's very hard to still surprise wrestling fans or keep a secret, right? And the fact that WWE still were able to do that in 2023, you gotta hats off to them.
I mean, they didn't fool me. They didn't fool me. But
they didn't fool you. You're right.
Remember, I was on the phone with you, and I was like,
you didn't get fooled. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Because they teased it. Once Shinsuke hit the GTS, I was like, oh yeah, he's showing up. Yeah, he's showing up. Now the other thing, the final thing, and we talked about this. This goes to show you how few people listen to us. We were talking about this during the fucking pandemic. There were fucking riots in the streets, and we're talking about this. Chris Jericho and Kylie Ray has finally come to the surface. Um, Nick Houseman brought out that allegedly Chris Jericho's had a lot of women sign NDAs, and someone said, I think he's talking about Kylie Ray, and Kylie Ray responded with a heart, and the world exploded. And of course, a lot of wrestling fans call Kylie Ray a whore and opportunistic. I don't think she's opportunistic or a whore because all she did was put out a heart. She has not said anything else. However, I will say this, and I want to see what you think, because you were right about the Matt Riddle thing. You were right about when that woman came out with all these deals about Matt Riddle wound up being bullshit, like that Candy chick. But my thing about the Chris Jericho thing and the Kylie Ray thing is I heard that story in 2019. I heard it at my Halloween party from someone. I heard it from this indie wrestler I don't talk to anymore. I've heard it from people, and I wasn't asking them about it. So that's a big sign. It's not like Kylie Ray put on the internet 4 years ago. Is that she left? It was weird, and people went up to me and told me this story, and then it never really bubbled to the surface until just now. And when it does bubble to the surface, Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp, and a lot of these other fucking losers are not saying a goddamn fucking word. What do you think?
Well, you might not like this.
Okay.
What I said about Matt Riddle, by the way, when allegations came out about him, I didn't say he did it, but I also didn't say he didn't do it. I said we should wait.
Yeah.
Before people cast judgment, we should wait and see what really comes out, right? Because right now it's just rumors. And this Chris Jericho thing, I'm gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the room. I don't work in AEW, so I don't know if anything's
But to
happening or
Kylie's
not.
credit, she hasn't said anything. She hasn't said what happened.
Now, one thing I did say about Matt Riddle situation is that I sure something probably did happen between them, whether it was consensual or not. Something happened between them for this to even come out. And I will say this: the fact that there were rumors about this back in 2019?
Yeah, at my Halloween party before the pandemic.
Back in 2019, and it's resurfacing now, the same two names again, right? Chris Jericho, Kylie Ray. I wouldn't be surprised if something actually did happen.
Yeah, okay. That's all. Yes, yeah. But my thing, what was I gonna say? Shit, I was gonna say something. Fuck.
They stole Eddie Kingston's cake. That's what.
Fuck Eddie Kingston, that piece of shit. My thing.
The secret's out, guys.
My thing with this whole fucking, I had a point to make. No, the weird thing about this story, this is the weird thing about the Jericho Kylie Ray story, is that Brian Alvarez and Sean Ross Sapp in 2019 both point blank said it's not true. Then this weekend, Sean Ross Sapp, the only thing he said about it was, I don't really know anything about this, so I can't comment on it. And now they're acting like it's not even there. They're not talking about it. They're not commenting on it. And it's very, very weird because when the Matt Riddle allegations came out, they were all over it. Well, I don't know if it's true or not, but they were like really talking about it. They're very quiet about this. And Brian Alvarez basically yelled. If you see the clip where he's yelling at his audience, I don't want to hear anything about that. There's something weird in AEW. Kylie Ray just left because she has mental problems. And I don't know. It leads me to there's something.
But wasn't that in 2019?
Yes, he yelled at everyone. And this is when I heard the story. Now I wasn't that tuned in 2019. I kind of after WrestleMania 35, I didn't pay attention to anything. So I wasn't. But they replayed the clip this weekend on Twitter, and he's screaming and yelling that there's nothing to it. But it's like, if there was nothing to it, why would Kylie Ray put the heart? The heart is kind of smart of her because she didn't really say anything. It's just up to your interpretation. But why are these reporters being weird about this story? They're being really weird about this story, these fucking guys. They jump up. Dude, if this was sexual misallegations against fucking Triple H, they'd be ejaculating themselves to like talk about it all day long, you know?
I wonder if it's because they know that Jericho will be quick to maybe sue them or whatever, and they don't want that kind of heat.
Well, I think Jericho's also a source for like Meltzer. And
it's possible, yeah.
Unless Meltzer gets like rock hard evidence, like Kylie Ray like sends him like Keanu had evidence against Jason Scoop. If Kylie Ray sends Meltzer hard evidence, then he has to like fucking be like, well,
You mean you're basically what you're saying is Jericho could be like you don't bite the hand that feeds you in a way.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. There's something. I heard different stories about the Kylie Ray situation with Jericho. I heard that they did hook up. I heard that she ran out of the room when he tried to hook up with her. All this stuff is allegedly. But I do think she's the original sin of AEW that's going to come back to haunt them because
I,
they
I heard,
just
dude, I heard different. I heard Jericho was the one who got scared. He called her into the room. They were in. Kylie Ray went to Jericho's locker room, and they were the only ones in his dressing room alone.
yeah.
And then um, Kylie pulled out her huge dong, and it scared the shit
And then
out of
Rick
Jericho. He
Steiner
was
showed up. Rick Steiner showed up, and he was like, "Oh my god, my favorite." I heard, I heard
like,
that, I heard that Kylie Ray pulled Tony Khan and Chris Jericho in a room, and she was like, "I think you should hire Eddie Kingston and give him all the belts."
yeah,
And they fired her.
fire me, fire me, and you know who needs to be the face of this company? Big Swole. And then
Um, I heard Eddie Kingston thought she was he thought because he had that yellow attire, he thought she was a can of mustard, and he tried to eat her. And they were like, "Oh, just go." Anyway, um, look,
so
I think there's something weird. There's something weird with Jericho. I've heard allegedly Jericho has tried to sleep a lot of people. I've heard that from a lot of people. This is
you
all
ever
alleged.
see pictures of him kissing Kelly Kelly?
I've heard there's stuff with Kelly Kelly allegedly.
No, there's pictures.
Yeah, and you remember what I said? Now maybe some of you didn't hear this because it was on the Goots cast during the pandemic. I said it's weird that these women with no experience are getting on TV and put in extremely prominent experience positions. At the time of the pandemic, people like Anna Jay and Julia Hart only had like 2 months experience, and they're on TV. Obviously now, well, Julia Hart's better, not so much.
Sky Blue as well.
Yeah, Sky Blue also showed up on TV with no experience. I
Julia
always
Hart still stinks.
I'm sorry.
Julia Hart still stinks in my opinion.
I think she's better than Anna Jay, but yeah, she's not that good. You know who was really good? That they, I guess
That's
you know,
like going. This person's slightly less fat than this other person. It's like,
you know who's really good, and she's never on TV. And I have a theory why Penelope Ford
yeah, yeah. Penelope
because she's
Ford is
married.
better. She's married. That's why. Yeah.
That's why she's not. That's why she's not getting anything.
No,
Penelope
yeah.
Ford had a match. Do you remember this? Penelope Ford had a match. This is when Jericho was doing commentary with Tony Schiavone. I do. By the way, I do think Tony and Jericho alone are a good team on commentary. I'll say that. But Jericho was being really complimentary of Penelope Ford. He was like, "Wow, that's like a New Japan move. Wow, that's this, that, and the third." And I kind of feel like Jericho was like, "You want to be my Judas?" And she was like, I'm actually really faithful to Kip Sabian." He was like, "No push for you." I don't know, but like, she's like
No,
the
I think
most
so. Yeah, I think
girl.
so. It's kind of weird that she's never on TV.
She's like the most of all the AEW original women. Like you want to say the women that showed up from 2019 to
She
like
is an AEW original. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
she's gorgeous and she's the most talented. And I remember I used to say, why is she not getting a push? Why is she like she can do it? She can do it in the ring, and she's not getting anything. And now,
No.
dude, I checked the other day on because I forgot, dude. This is what they do when they don't put these people on TV. I just forget they exist. I forgot she fucking existed. I looked her up. She hasn't had a match since like fucking June. She
I
might be
wonder if she's injured or pregnant.
No, she's injured. Yeah, her injury is that she won't take the Ayatollah Rockarola.
Yeah.
The injury is.
I know
But
what
like,
her injury is. Her injury is loyalty. She got to get that fucking checked out. You know.
dude, fucking there's. I always said this. I said this. There's something weird with the women's division. I don't think anymore. I think that's so. Last night when I saw what a great job Maria May did, and I think Deanna Purrazzo.
Mariah,
What?
Mariah, like
Whatever.
Mariah Carey.
Whatever. Tony Storm's doing a great job. We might have Mercedes Monet showing up. And then Deanna Purrazzo, say what you will. She's better than a lot of the others. She's better than Anna Jay. She's better than Julia Hart. She's better than Sky Blue. You kind of don't need the Anna Jays anymore. And then I'm like watching the Anna Jay, and I'm like, it was really weird how far they pushed her when she had no experience. It was really weird. You wouldn't do that with a guy.
I don't know. What about Omos?
That's Vince. That's Vince and his
No, I
It's a
mean it's
fetish.
the same kind of thing. I mean, he's a huge fucking dude. You're just like,
Vince
oh,
has
give
a
me more.
fetish. Vince has a fetish for big guys. Notice
Yes, and you know what?
Omos has.
Yeah, yeah,
But notice as soon as Vince regained a little bit of power, and Omos was all over TV again, and now Vince has no more power. Where's Omos?
yeah. Omos was sucking Vince McMahon's dick, and he was like, "You better sign this NDA."
Uh, um, yeah. So yeah.
Is
So
that all of wrestling news? I mean, there's one more. Tama Tonga is at the end of this month leaving New Japan. That was
yeah, he's gonna
another.
cost Rock the match at Mania.
This was something that I mean, if it ends up being what we think is happening, one
It's
of your
time.
other fantasy bookings could finally happen.
It's time for the God to be in WWE. I don't think they've had a million crossovers in New Japan. The God never show up on the AEW show. And they could have, but I think their tribal chief told them, "Don't go to AEW. Don't do Forbidden Door. That is the true Forbidden Door." I think Rikishi called them. I think CM Punk told them, "Wait for the call from your tribal chief, and it's coming."
It's possible, dude. Yeah, it's possible. And I'm once again, I if Tama Tonga is really leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, I hope he goes to WWE, and I hope he brings his two brothers along too. And I would love to see a Bloodline versus Haku line fucking feud. That would be nice.
That would be great. That would be a really good one. I like that. All right, so that's all the news from 2000. Dude, this is only the fourth. It's been a crazy couple of days. Oh, and don't forget, Dolph Ziggler debuted in Wrestle Kingdom.
Dolph Ziggler and his brother Ryan Nemeth, Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth, both showed up at Wrestle Kingdom, not to wrestle, but like to like sit there, you know,
Set up storylines. Some
set
sort.
up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It,
How you feel
I
about that?
think
Yeah.
I think personally it's the best move for Nick Nemeth. I think AEW he would have wound up like the Hardys, wound up like Jack Swagger. I think here he can reinvent himself. I think here he can challenge himself. I've met him. He's a really nice guy. He's got a lot of personality, but I think this is the best move. And I think he can come out of this a bigger star and either go back to WWE or when he does go to AEW, be in the main event picture.
Yeah, I
He,
think
need,
it
he
also
needs to
like
reinvent himself.
yeah, this is good for. I'll be honest with you. This is the person who really benefits the most from this is Ryan Nemeth,
Yeah.
right? I think it's nice when brothers team up, and it's kind of especially if one brother is way more, is way more accomplished than the other brother. It really helps the other brother out. And Ryan Nemeth, I always thought wasn't. He's not amazing, but he wasn't like terrible either. He should have
Yeah.
been like he should have gotten something at least in AEW, but it's not going to happen, and
But
it's
but
happening
I
here.
kind of also feel the same way about Dolph. Dolph should have got more in WWE. But I think
Yes,
I think the thing about New Japan, and I think this, if I'm Dolph, I'm gonna remind you how fucking great I am. I'm gonna remind you that I should be in the conversations with all your fucking internet favorites. And this is the challenge. If he's not if it doesn't work out, if he stinks the bed in New Japan, it's like, all right, Vince was right about you. But if he fucking steals a show, if Dave Meltzer is like masturbating to him, um, then like I think then he can go somewhere and be like, I proved to you like I'm the ace. Give me the push. Whether it's AEW or WWE.
yeah, I think so. I think this is good too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So 1 second, we're gonna talk about Wrestlewar in just 1 second. All right, and now it's time to talk about Wrestlewar 92. Um Angeli, overall, before we get into match by match, blah. What did you think of this show?
Not bad. You know, it's no World's End, but it was a fine show. By the way, it was a fine
I
show.
So the first half of the show I found abysmal. Second half I thought was fantastic, and we'll get into it when we get into it. But the wrestling experts were right. This was the best War Games match.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's once again, it's like a very low bar. It's like, oh, this person's the best looking unattractive person,
Can I
but
tell you, you know what I think the big difference between this War Games and every other War Games ever happened was the big difference, which is what made it so special. Steve Austin's in the entire match.
man, I guess we're gonna have to have a disagreement at the end of this because I don't see what you're seeing, but we should talk
Steve
about that when we
Austin or
get
the
to
match?
the match, dude. I don't know what. It's not a good match, dude.
Oh, it's a great match. What are you talking about?
See, this is exactly. Oh, you think the actual War Games match was a good match?
Yeah, for a War Games match.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do not think it was good.
I mean,
It's
it
fucking
follows. I mean,
forgettable.
like, look, it follows. Like, there's only so many things you can do in a War Games match. That's the thing. Like, there's you have to follow the rules. And I thought it was a really good match for what they were doing.
Wow, no, I disagree. I think it's a very limited match and it's boring.
Are
It
you saying the
nothing
War Games match in general or just this one?
in general, but this one was uneventful as well. This is one of
Oh,
the
see,
most.
I didn't see that at all. But let's start from the
Yeah,
start of the
we'll
show.
get into that. Yeah, this is good. This is why we do this podcast, right? This is why, because we're gonna have two different views. We don't always agree. Sometimes Ray is wrong and I'm right. So we're gonna get into
You
it.
know what though? We're both right about Eddie Kingston being the triple cheeseburger. So
Yeah,
as long
the
as we're
triple
agreed,
cheeseburger
if
champion.
you
Yeah.
thought Eddie Kingston deserves everything he's getting, I couldn't trust you anymore. But
Yeah. I'm the triple cheeseburger champion, partner. Don't forget that. I was in the G1, partner.
bro, I want to put you on stage. I wanna, but you gotta bring 8 people, bro. It's not on me. I'm God. I'll put you on right now. But you only brought 5 people. I need 3 more. I'm the
The
triple cheeseburger, Eddie Kingston.
triple cheeseburger. I love that. Oh, God, I want a triple cheeseburger. Well, you know what I want
Eddie Kingston.
also is I want to go back to 1992, where this Wrestlewar takes place. Wrestlewar 92, destroy or be destroyed? That is the question. Taking place on May 17, 1992. Where? In Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh,
A
Tony Khan was there.
young Tony Khan was probably there, right? I don't know. Were they living in Jacksonville at the time?
I don't know. I don't know where he was.
Okay, wait, he's our age, right? So if he was, how old
He's
was
old
I?
enough. He would have been old enough to go to the show or watch the show on pay per
Oh
view.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
obviously he
because
has enough money to order it, so he
he
could
was
have.
born in 1982, so he's about 10 years old at this point, right?
Yeah.
There was 6,000 fans at WrestleWar 92. One of them was probably a very young Tony Khan. And
WCW.
no, I don't know why Van Hammer is getting so little in this. I have no idea if he said that or not, but um we get a cool intro video. It's a dystopic kind of like wasteland, and the announcers go over the War Games match of Sting's Squadron versus Paulie Dangerously's Dangerous Alliance.
Dangerous
Tony,
Alliance.
Dangerous Alliance, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Dangerous Alliance. Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff, they're sitting on like these director's chairs. They're welcoming us. They're like the hosts again for this show. They're going to intro almost every single match. And they talk about the War Games. They talk about how Sting was injured. He got injuries, his rib injuries. So we'll don't know how it's going to play out. Jim Ross and Jesse Ventura on commentary. And
By the
Jesse
way,
Ventura. Yes.
Jesse Ventura's already checked out. As of this show, he already doesn't give a shit.
I thought it was really funny how like he makes fun of like JR's polka dot like handkerchief.
I don't think he likes Shay-R either.
But I was like, his getup was so fucking weird in this match.
But I could tell there's moments where I could tell Jesse Ventura is not paying attention to the main show because he at one point he goes like, why is Nikita and Sting so mad at one another, or why is it a big deal they're hugging? And I'm like, because they feuded all last year. Like I don't think he. And in the main event,
There were parts in the show that he is really good on commentary, and I just think maybe he checks out a really shitty, boring match.
I think he realizes that this company stinks compared to WWE, and it's a downgrade. And I think he knows that in his heart. And I kind of felt like Jim Ross just stopped working with Jesse in the main event and just started being Jim Ross. Like he just got into the match. He's like, "You're not with me. I'm just gonna fucking go nuts about this match." I'm not even going to try to feed to you because you're not giving
Okay,
me.
okay. So you're talking about the main event, but would you say the rest of the show they were like that? Because I didn't feel that way the rest of the show.
No, the
They
main
were,
event is when Jim Ross just gives up trying to connect with Jesse Ventura.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
he's
because
trying.
Jesse Ventura's checked out at the main event because it wasn't a good main event. I'm sticking by this, bro. It was not that good,
But
and I think Jesse Ventura
you're listen. Listen, even if I agree with you, which I don't, we are
knows.
in a very small minority. There
You
is a
don't
massive,
disrespect me. You better not disrespect my wrestling opinion, bro. I'll fucking
there is
kick
a, but let me just say something. The overwhelming majority of everyone who has watched WCW has said this is the best match in WCW history. So when we're
Wait,
done
wait,
with these
wait.
pay-per-views,
This is the best match in WCW history? No,
that's
what
what the
didn't we watch?
majority of wrestling experts say. I don't agree with that.
No.
I don't know what I would say the best match in WCW history is. I kind of think I would still go if we're counting Jim Crockett as WC. Well, if we're counting Jim Crockett as WCW, I would go with Magnum TA Tully Blanchard at Starcade '85. But we'll see.
That War Games match wasn't even the best match in this pay-per-view. It was like the
That you're
third or
wrong.
fourth.
That you're 1,000% wrong.
No, it will go over. Yeah. All right, we got the US. The first matchup, it is for the US tag titles. It is the Fabulous Freebirds of Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin versus Van Hammer and Greg the Hammer Valentine and the Taylor made man Terry Taylor. Greg the Hammer Valentine, he left WWE finally, WBF finally.
Yeah.
He's there. You know what's really funny? I thought was like so annoying. The whole time well, not the whole time, like near the end, when Greg the Hammer Valentine is in WWF, he's wearing like red and yellow. He's wearing the fucking Hogan colors. He's got the blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why are you doing this? Everybody knows that's Hogan's colors, right? Like the same way nobody else in this company is wearing pink and fucking black, right?
Yeah.
Because they know that's Brett's colors. And Hogan's the biggest star in this company, and you're wearing his fucking colors. And then the moment he comes to WCW, he's no longer wearing fucking Hogan's colors. He's wearing like blue trunks. And I'm like, you motherfucker. Right? Like, what a fucking idiot. I was like, what was he doing, dude? Anyways,
I got a lot of problems with Greg Valentine in this match, but let's get into it.
yeah, the Freebirds, they're wrestling a better tag match because they are more of a tag team. And Ventura mentions that the champions, who are Greg the Hammer Valentine and Taylor Made Man, are kind of out of sync, which that's the story of this match. The champs do fire back, but Michael Hayes eventually makes the hot tag and he's going wild. And this would have been a good time to fucking end the match, right? But no, it's WCW. This opening match has to be like the fucking longest match of the night. It ends up being like the third longest match on this pay-per-view. The champs continue to work on Michael Hayes, and then Garvin. Now it's his turn to make the hot tag. And then Michael Hayes hits Greg the Hammer Valentine with a left hook. And while this is happening, Garvin hits Terry Taylor with a DDT to win the U.S. tag titles. The crowd does go crazy for this win. They are fully behind the Freebirds.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I'm not fully behind the Freebirds. I thought this match sucked.
Wait, you didn't think the crowd
I
fucking
said
goes crazy.
I'm not fully
Yeah,
behind.
yeah, you're not. I get it. Yes.
I genuinely, if I took over WWE tomorrow, I don't know, maybe he's great backstage. I would fire Michael Hayes just based on everything I've seen of him on TV. I'm convinced everything that we find annoying about WWE is him. Because, like, when you watch him walk to the ring and his fucking stupid dance, I'm like, I don't trust this guy to like guide my wrestlers. Like, why would I trust this guy out of
Are
everyone
you
in wrestling history?
are you basing your enjoyment of this match of what you perceive his role is now, or are you watching it genuinely just like watching his performance here?
I'm generally watching it. The other problem is I thought Terry Taylor and Greg Valentine were probably the worst tag team I've ever seen. Greg Valentine makes no effort to. First of all, these guys have the fucking belt. It's not like they're challenged. They're the champions. And Greg Valentine makes no effort to kind of be in sync with this guy or be a
Yes.
unit with this guy. He
Which
literally.
Jesse Ventura pointed out. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Greg Valentine walks down the ramp like he doesn't even like Terry Taylor's trying to do this whole he's trying. Terry
Yes.
Taylor is trying so hard, and Greg Valentine's walking down the ramp like he's going to his fucking job at the factory. He looks so uninterested, and I think that affects the whole match. It really, these guys are the champs. Who the fuck did they beat? Because they are not they're not a good tag team, bro. They were a horrible tag team. Greg
They were
Valentine
not
looks
like they're not bad wrestlers, but they're just like not a tag team, right? And
yeah
I was surprised too that these were the fucking champs. So I think the thing with Michael Hayes and the Freebirds that I don't mind is that they're almost always in like an opening match,
yeah.
right? Like if he's annoying and he's not like the best wrestler, I'm okay with somebody like that being in a role like this because you know what? Here's the thing: you just want a hot opening match, and the Freebirds they do get the crowd going. That's one thing you got to give
Look,
them. Right?
yeah, look, and also let's
Now,
be honest.
I would say their matches shouldn't be long. That's the one problem I have with this. This match was way too fucking
Yeah,
long. But I think putting someone like Michael Hayes in the opening match is good because it gets the crowd going. You know, just keeps
but
gets them going.
my other thing with Greg Valentine is he's in a new company. He was in WWE for years, and we're kind of used to Greg Valentine just grumpily coming to the ring in WWE.
Yes.
He can get away with that. Here, he's not like if I just signed this guy and I saw his performance, I'd be like, why did I sign you? You look miserable. He looks like you're going to a job he doesn't like, and it's like it's a weird way to start the pay per view. I did not like this match. I do not like the Freebirds. I feel bad for Terry Taylor. He's trying so hard, and this fucking jerk off is like almost holding him in contempt with the way he's walking around. And yeah, I didn't like this match. What did you think?
I thought it was fine. It's just too long. I think it's too long, but I don't hate the Freebirds as much as you. I think they're
I
just all right.
hate the I hate the Freebirds. I don't hate the Freebirds. I think I hate Michael Hayes. And the reason why the
I don't
original
hate Michael Hayes. He's got a great fucking punch. He plays his role. Like he plays his
he's the
role.
Eddie Kingston of 1992. Well, at least if Tony Khan had been there,
No,
be
he's
like,
not because he's not winning tournaments. His best
not winning,
worker. In
yeah, the
business.
best wrestler in the world, Michael Hayes. That's what.
See, that's when I have a problem. That's when I have a problem. If Michael Hayes was winning like a tournament, beating Sting and beating fucking
He
Lex
won the
Luger,
G1. He wins the G1.
yeah,
Michael.
then I would have a problem.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's always in tag team matches.
Yeah, I guess
And
you're
even
right.
sometimes in tag team matches, he looks stupid. Like, remember when he eliminated himself in that like elimination? And it was like, that's why I don't have a problem with Michael Hayes. I'm like, oh, he's in his role. That's fine.
Shit. Well, you know what? The original Freebirds, you know why they worked was because they were all kind of different. Buddy
Yeah.
Rogers is kind of like a goofy villain.
Gordy's the monster.
Gordy is a monster. Yeah, so my problem with this Freebirds is Jimmy Garvin's trying to like be goofy like Michael Hayes, and they just look pathetic. And I don't know. I kind of think I like the Freebirds more if it had been Mike if this tag if they never brought in if it would have been Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes. I think that would have been. I think then they could be a main event act if it was just those two, but because they were a main event act when it was the three of them.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about how I like the Freebirds. They're not anywhere near my top 10 list of favorite tag teams. Like this version.
No,
I just don't mind them, is what I'm saying. But anyway, we should move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let that Freebird fly. Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff, they're talking about the next match, and they're talking about how Johnny B. Bad really needs this win. Okay, he really needs to win this one. Okay, he needs to show everybody he's got to win. So we're going to our match number 2. Tracy Smothers of the Young Pistols versus Johnny B. Bad. Johnny B. Bad puts in his entrance, he comes in, he puts like a kiss, a lip sticker on a fan's face. I remember this as a kid. I was like, oh, I remember when he used to do that shit, you know? And the women are putting dollar bills on his fucking girder or garter, I guess what you call it. Is that what it is? Garter?
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, in this match, Tracy Smothers, he's dominating most of the match, even hitting some high flying moves, which is pretty good. Johnny Bad fires back and he hits like a fucking left punch for the win. Jesse Ventura goes on and on about how that's an illegal punch. Why is the ref allowing this? He shouldn't have allowed it. What do you think about this match?
It was good. Jesse Ventura's I feel like Jesse Ventura's commentary. He wanted to really bad. He was dying to be like, gay is not. If you're gay, it's not good, and you're a piece of shit. And I think Jim Ross is trying to like, no, we have to like tread the line where no one knows how we feel about this guy might being gay. But Jesse, I could tell, like, was dying to just be like, this guy is a homo and I hate them. And like, I don't know, he kind of ruined the match. I don't know, Jesse in WCW doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work. He needs the
Man,
WWE.
we are really not seeing eye to eye in this. I enjoy Jesse's commentary in this pay-per-view. He made a lot of good points, and it was finally like I like the fact that it's not Jim Ross and a guy who's always agreeing with him 100%.
That's
Because
good too.
old pay-per-views, it's all like that. It's just
Well, no, well, Paul Heyman didn't agree with him on everything.
yeah, I was like that was one pay-per-view. Then the rest of them, it's always like Bob Collar and him agreeing on everything. This one, he actually was making good points, right? Because Jesse Ventura in WWEF, he would make points that he has a point. Like it actually, what he's saying is annoying, but he's not wrong. And this one, the same thing. He's like, that's an illegal punch. Why are they allowing this? Why are they allowing this? And it's like, man, this guy's super annoying, but you can't say he's wrong. And that was like, I like that ability that he had. Now,
I also thought this match was just okay. I didn't think it was anything that great.
this is the part of the show where it's a real. I feel bad for people like Tony Khan who have to pay like a lot of money to probably sit there because.
Well, no, he didn't have to pay anything. His dad paid for it. Just like
I feel
AEW.
bad for StatCon because I don't care how rich you are, we're gonna see a string of television matches, right? And I'm like, why the fuck are you putting like 4 or 5 matches in a row that have no fucking stakes?
Because basically everything on this show is to kill time until they get to Brian Pillman, Tom Zank, and then the real show begins.
Yes, and this is what's gonna be. We're gonna have a whole bunch of matches. This is the first.
I'm wondering because I know WCW eventually stops doing that. They eventually like every match matters.
Yes,
Bischoff was the one who started that, and I have a feeling, by the way, when we're done, by the time we get to like 97, 98, I know you don't like Bischoff, but I think you're gonna like have to give him a lot of credit.
You made a point to me a couple of months ago that I had to agree with. You said he's the only one who beat Junior.
Yeah, he was.
And
He's always going to be.
You are right. So I have to give him credit for that. He's the only one. He's the only one. Yeah.
No one else came close. He's the only one. But
in a way, would you say he's better than Jim Crockett?
Yeah, I also think he's better than Tony. Yeah, I do. Because
he's better than Bill Watts. He's better than a lot of these guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that Eric Bischoff did, which nobody else did, and nobody gives him credit because they think because Nash and Hogan rolled their eyes at this shit that he agreed with them. He understood that it's about work rate. We got to give people work rate. We got to give people New Japan, Lucha Libre style matches, but we also have to give them WWE sports entertainment.
Yeah, he's the one who brought in the luchadors.
Yeah, Hogan said to him, "I don't get it." And Bischoff said in the podcast, Hogan said to him, "I don't get why you're bringing these Mexican guys." And Bischoff said, "It's not for you to get. Just worry about your own storyline." He goes, "Okay, brother, do what you got to do." Like, in other words, like, you don't need to worry about the opening match. I worry about the opening match. Worry about the NWO and your main, and I think Bischoff kind of got that WWE didn't get back then. That like, I gotta have matches that Meltzer loves. But I also have to have like goofy Hogan angles.
I would say this: WCW in the 90s was the first company that I saw that had something for everyone.
Yeah.
Before WWE did that, WCW did that, where they had something for everyone.
I don't think Bischoff sits around and watches New Japan, but I think he gets that there's a market for like G1 style matches. And I think, I was watching some of those Nitros when the NWO first shows up, and Rey Mysterio and Juventud Guerrera are just tearing down the house for the first half hour. And then the last hour is all the NWO angle. And it's like great because it's like you have an hour of like pure wrestling, and then you have an hour of like goofy sports entertainment. And
no, wait, I disagree. It wasn't goofy. That was the whole point.
It
Was
wasn't
actually
goofy. What I'm
really
saying
good.
is you have an hour of good sports entertainment and
Yes.
good angles, and it's like you don't have to worry that Kevin Sullivan's having a shitty match with Arn Anderson while Hulk Hogan's like spray painting everyone because you already had a 5-star match at the start of the show. You
Yes.
already had Benoit and Dean Malenko fucking wrestle like they're in the they like it's Wrestle Kingdom on a fucking Monday night.
Mhm.
And to me, you only need one. You only need one of those matches. You don't need every match to go 90 miles an hour. And I think no
Okay,
one
but
else.
and here's the difference between this pay-per-view, Wrestlewar 1992, and that. When Eric Bischoff and WCW was at their prime, they would have no stakes matches, but they were really good matches. We're
Yeah.
gonna see a string of matches in a row where not only is it no stakes, they're not even amazing matches. They're
Oh,
just basic matches. And
I know
this
the best.
Brothers versus Johnny B. Bad was the first one.
I know the best match in WCW history to me. The best match in the and this is why WCW defeated almost drove WWF out of business. My favorite WCW match of all time, Bash at the Beach 1996, Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis. It's the opening match. It's unbelievable. Now, on that same show, the main event fucking stinks, which is the Nash and Hall versus Savage, Luger, and Sting, right? And Hogan comes out. The match itself stinks, but the closing angle is one of the greatest angles of all time.
Yes.
And that's the secret why Bischoff beat Hogan. It's because that opening match, dude, when we get to it, it's going to be 2 years from now. When we get to
Bischoff
it,
beat Vince, not Hogan.
I'm sorry?
You said Bischoff beat Hogan.
I'm sorry, Bischoff beat Vince. That
Vince.
opening match, you can't find a better fucking Lucha Libre match ever. Psychosis and Mysterio are at their prime, and they're given time to steal the fucking show. And then, when you get to the main event, that angle in Hogan's promo is like, what is going to happen? So it's like, it doesn't matter what happens. I think the rest of the show has some okay matches. Doesn't matter what happens to the rest of the show. You had an incredible fucking 5-star match, and then you had a fucking insanely great angle that is gonna like you don't know where it's gonna go. And that to me is like that's the secret, you know?
What was that tag team match that in WCW that we saw that you asked me what it was? I think the Steiner brothers were involved or something, and I said that was one of the best match. That was the best match on the show, and you said it actually won best match of the year.
Oh, Steiners versus Lex and Sting.
Yeah, that I think might be. If somebody asked me what's one of the best WCW matches you've ever seen, I
I
would
can
count
see that. I can see that. I can see that
That was
being.
really fucking good. Yeah.
So, all right. So fucking Johnny B. Bad stings up the joint.
Yeah. So Johnny B. Bad wins with a left punch. After this match, Missy Hyatt, who's still there. Guess who's not there? Jason Harvey. He's not there again. I miss this guy at this point. Anyway, Missy Hyatt, she is with the new U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Freebirds, and Precious, their manager, is with them. I was like, why didn't she come out to them in the ring? Why is she like only in the backstage promo?
Well, I guess she's looking a little bit older, so maybe
Yeah. By the way, Precious is
like
the real life wife of Jimmy Jam Garvin,
they're still
and
together.
yeah, they're all there, and they're cutting a promo about being champions, and then Michael P.S. Hayes, say what you will about his work rate, but he cuts a good promo, and he was saying there's a tag tournament coming up for the WCW Tag Championship. Remember, they're not even the main tag team champions; they're the U.S. Tag Team Champions, and he was like alluding to the fact that they want to be in that tournament and they fucking want to take on the real champion and stuff. So that was pretty interesting. But he didn't really actually say it. He just alluded to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, Eddie Kingston, win that tournament. Yeah, beat all the work rate guys. Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff, they talk about the next match, and they start saying, they analyze every single match before it begins. And actually, I like it. It's not bad. They talk about how Marcus Alexander Bagwell, the honeymoon
You know
is
what?
over.
AEW should have Jim Ross do this.
Yes, they should. Jim Ross with somebody should analyze before a match.
Jim Ross and Renee Young.
Yeah. But what was really interesting about this is they really don't pull out of punches. They actually go right for the jugular. They were saying the honeymoon is over for Marcus Alexander Bagwell. He's no longer a rookie. We got younger, newer guys coming in now, and it's now time for him to put up or shut up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go into match number 3, another match with no stakes. It's Marcus Alexander Bagwell versus Scotty Flamingo, who will go on to be Raven and
Raven did it.
Buff Bagwell. At the beginning of this match, they get into a slap fight a few times, and this is actually where you could see Marcus Alexander Bagwell's inexperience, because Raven is slapping him, knowing like you're the good guy, so you're supposed to fire back, right? So like after they slap each other 2 times, Marcus should have like, I don't know, double legged him or whatever, right? Get the crap out of him. But you can see Marcus doesn't know how to react. He just slaps him back, and that's why they do it so many times.
Mhm.
And then there's so much in this match that Jesse Ventura just doesn't understand. Like he goes like, why did he roll him back into the ring? Why didn't he just take a count out victory? Why is he looking for the crowd approval? He should be fucking going for the pin. I was like, I can tell Ventura, the wrestler, is looking at these two guys and he's like, they fucking suck. Like, I
Yeah,
can
they
tell
do.
he's not happy with it. And to be fair, they're both very new, so that's why there's an experience. Marcus Alexander Bagwell hits the O'Connor roll up for try to win the match, but Scotty Flamingo reverses it and he holds the tights for the win. Jesse Ventura says Bagwell should have held the tights, and that's why he lost. And all right, that's a good point. What'd you think? Match number 3.
You know, this was probably the worst role of Raven's life. This wasn't him. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
You weren't a fan of Scotty Flamingo?
No, I kind of think Raven's best role, Raven's and Eddie Kingston. And what I mean by that is his best role was when he was a color commentator with Vince and Gorilla in WWF in '94.
Johnny Polo?
Yeah, he was really good. Especially him and Gorilla were really good. He should have been he should still him Michael Cole should be calling Raw. I'm convinced that's like the perfect role for him. But he had to go to ECW and he had to be the world champion because and like I said, not everyone's meant to be the world champion. And it's Eddie Kingston disease. You think you're a top star, but you're really a commentator. And that's what he was good for. I didn't like this match. I like Raven as Raven. I like Raven as Johnny Polo, but as Scotty Flamingo, no way, man. It's not working.
I remember as a kid I liked Johnny Flamingo, but I'm not sure why. I think as a kid I just liked all wrestlers. I just liked everybody. This is a match between two guys who are pretty green. Both of them are pretty new. You can see they're inexperienced. And this is where I'm like, this is a television match. Why the fuck are you putting this on a match people are paying
because WCW treats pay-per-views like nothing matters but like 3 matches.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like, it is what it is.
Give me 1 second.
Promo. What? Sorry?
1 second, brother. Okay. Keep going.
All
okay,
right.
so now we get to the next match.
Before the next match, we get a Beach Blast promo. I loved it. It was such a 90s promo.
Oh, it was great.
Beaches, babes. And you go, it's totally beaching. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. Does WWE, do you remember a couple of years ago when Cody was like bringing...
Oh, he called it Bash the Beach, not Bleach Bass.
Yeah, he called it like Bash the Beach and stuff. Like when he was in AEW and WWE, they worked out a thing with him to buy back all those names, and in return gave him the rights to the name Cody Rhodes, right?
Yeah.
Was Beach Blast one of them?
I believe so.
They should use Beach Blast. I think it's
they're selling a Beach Blast. So I typed in WCW the other day on WWE Shop. They had a New Year's sale. They have a Beach Blast shirt for sale on the WWE Shop store.
Oh, okay.
I like Bashing the Beach better though. As a name.
Beach is cool. Yeah. I think you know what I'm thinking they should do?
What?
NXT should have like a 2-week like PLE. One's called Beach Blast and one's called Bash the Beach. Like
you know what I would do with NXT? I would do a live episode from the beach like they did the Bash in the Beach '95, which we're going to be covering towards the end of the year. So I know you're excited about that.
Wait, you said they are doing it?
No, that's what I would do. I would do a Bash at the Beach. I would do a Beach Blast on an actual beach.
Yeah, on, or at least a place with like water or something. Yeah. I agree. I did not be fun.
Yeah. I like both names. I like a whole beach motif. But you know what though? Fuck that. Tony Khan that smelly loser. You know, hey, listen, you have the pay-per-view in May. You don't really have anything in June or July. Or do a fucking July pay-per-view. Beach something. Beach G1. I don't know.
Beach G1, exactly. That's what it should be called. The Beach G1. I like that. Dude, book it. Anyways,
Triple cheeseburger beach party.
yeah. After that promo, Jesse Ventura and JR, they're going over the next match. And this is where you get a full view of what Jesse Ventura is wearing. And he looks so fucking ridiculous. He's got a bald head, but he's got a fucking tail, right? He's got these huge sunglasses on and he's got like a snakeskin vest. I was like, he looks so ridiculous. And they start arguing about Junkyard Dog. And because the next match, Junkyard Dog's involved in the previous pay per view, Junkyard Dog came in. He wasn't involved in the match, but he came down from the audience. And JYD was saying, that's wrong. He shouldn't have done that. And Jim Ross brings the counter. Well, what about Abdul the Butcher? He did the same thing. Isn't he wrong? And this is what I like. They're both making good points. They don't have to agree, but they're making they're making logical arguments, right? And this happened during Super Brawl, which they replay, where what happened. It's gonna lead to our fourth match. This match actually does have some stakes and stuff, kind of. It's Cactus Jack and Mr. Hughes versus Junkyard Dog and Ron Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
During the entrance of Cactus Jack and Mr. Hughes, Cactus kind of like hides somewhere in the stage. So then when JYD comes out, Cactus attacks him from behind, and they go off the ramp, and then Cactus Jack elbow drops him from the ramp, and they say Junkyard Dog is too injured to wrestle in this match. And I read that he actually had a legit injury. That's why he.
Oh, I thought the injury was he drank too much the night before.
That's probably, yeah. That probably was
That's
a
real
tip,
injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, this no longer a tag team match. Junkyard Dog gets helped to the back, and the heels are standing in the ring when Ron Simmons comes firing down the ramp, and he double teams and takes them both out, and it turns into a Ron Simmons versus Mr. Hughes singles match with no announcement at all. So the people in the audience are just like watching this, probably going like, well, what the fuck's happening? This is now just a single one-on-one match or whatever. Yeah, that was weird. They didn't even make an announcement. They just kind of like rang the bell and just started. And
That's why I kind of feel like he wasn't really injured. He was like fucked up.
oh, that's probably true. Maybe that's right. I love Mr. Hughes, man. I like that he wrestles with like shades on and he never fall off.
Mr. Hughes
I
is the
think-
man.
Yeah, he's actually not fat too. He's like 300 pounds or something like that, and he moves really fast. During this match, Jesse Ventura makes a whole bunch of jokes about how Oklahoma sucks at football. He was like, Bill Watts, he stinks too. and I, and he can't, Jesse Ventura, he can't get over the fact. He goes like, why can't the Cactus Jack and Mr. Hughes tag? Like, why can't they? This is supposed to be a tag team match. It's not He's like, it's not their problem that Junkyard Dog can't compete. They signed a contract for it to be a tag team match. They should be allowed to tag, and JR is getting really annoyed because JR really doesn't have like a counter for it, And
Yeah.
what do you call it? Basically, even though Mr. Hughes is humongous and he's fast, Ron Simmons is so fucking powerful. He overpowers him and he takes out Cactus Jack, and then he like football tackle clips Mr. Hughes for the win. What do you think about this match?
I liked it as a show. I know where Ron Simmons is going, and he's going to the top. He's gonna win the belt. I like his showcase for Ron Simmons. It makes him look like a badass. Dude, Ron Simmons was good, man. I don't know why after he loses the belt to Vader, they just completely give up on him. But right now, I totally buy Ron Simmons as a top guy. If Ron Simmons, the way he's presented in 1992, was in AEW or he was in WWE, I'd be like, yeah, put the belt on him. He is such a top guy right now. People act like it's like, oh, what a surprise when they gave him the belt. Or Bill Watts just wanted a black guy. No, he's proving that he can be the man. Every time I've seen him in the last few shows.
What was really this is a very quick match, and it's really a nothing match. But what's really impressive about this is Mr. Hughes is bigger than Ron Simmons, right?
Yeah.
And he's fast too. But the fact that Ron Simmons can like overpower him and shit, it shows you how strong he really is. You
Dude,
know?
Ron Simmons, it's fucking great. I enjoyed this match.
Yeah, yeah. It's fine, but once again,
I didn't like love it, but like as a showcase for Farouk, the leader of the Nation of Domination, I loved it. It was great.
yeah, but once again, I would it's like, is this really gonna should be on a pay per
I
view?
know,
But
but
whatever.
like, hey, listen, we're watching it, and I gotta find some
Yeah.
enjoyment.
We're gonna go to another match. It's like, ugh. Match number 5, Todd Champion of the Soul Patrol or some shit versus the Super Invader with Harley Race. Super Invader is actually Hercules from WWF. He's finally left. It's Hercules actually from Bangkok. He's a lot smaller than when he was in WWF here.
Yeah, and it's only been a few months.
Yeah. Todd Champion is actually bigger and taller than Super Invader. Champion kind of gets beat on most of this match and he fires back up, but then the Invader hangs him up on the ropes and then hits him with a kneeling power bomb for the win. What did you think?
It was all right. It was okay. I don't know. It
Let's
was
just
okay.
move on. Is that
Let's
okay?
move on. I don't really. I feel
Yeah.
bad. Why did they put Hercules under a mask? Why didn't they just like fucking?
Yeah, why did they put Hercules under? Maybe it's
I
because
don't
they
know.
realized he got so much smaller and they were like, we can't really
But
understand
he's got
that.
star power to me. Like back then, if you told me, "Hey, Hercules is WCW is getting like this big push," I probably would have been excited. I don't know. Like everyone underestimates Hercules. Mhm.
Yeah, I liked Hercules Hernandez. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Match number 6, Richard Morton versus Big Josh. Now, let me give you some background. This takes place in
Hey.
May 1992. The
Yeah.
York Foundation, a stable that Richard Morton is in, it actually disbanded in January 1992. So they're already disbanded at this point. Now, Terrence Taylor was also part of the York Foundation. And when they disbanded, Harry Taylor tried his fucking best. He changed his goddamn gimmick. He changed his name to be Taylor May Man. He changed his ring gear. He even changed the name of his finishing to all
So did
fit.
Mike Rotunda.
Yeah, to fit his entire new gimmick.
Mhm.
But you cannot tell this with fucking Richard Morton, who has not changed at all from the point of
It's fucking embarrassing, bro.
he never
I
changes
have a
gear.
feeling. I
Yeah.
have a feeling that like, maybe I'm wrong. I have a feeling like WCW officials sat him down, and he's like, "Yeah, what's going on?" And they're like, "Hey, you're Richard Morton." "Yeah, I know." And like, "Are you gonna change your outfit?" "I like that in my outfit. I got some good occasion in my outfit now." And they were like, "All right." I just,
Well, look at. Can you imagine the same conversation they had when the York Foundation disbanded? Hey, can we talk to you? Yeah, yeah, what's going on? Like, so York Foundation disbanded. Yeah. So can we stop calling you Richard Morton at least? Why do that? Can, you, can we just go back to Ricky Morton? Why? Why would I do that?
he this like this dude.
It's so lazy, dude.
This has been such a revealing run for me with this guy because he has not once, not even once, given any glimmer that this guy should be anything but a tag wrestler. It's like if Shawn Michaels in 1993 was still wearing rocker gear.
What happened to Robert Gibson?
I don't know. I don't know. He comes back though. He's coming back soon.
Oh God, I can't wait because it's like I can't believe he can't even change his name. Like I can't like why can't he just go back to Ricky Morton? I don't know why he still got to go by Richard. It's just weird. Anyways, his opponent is Big Josh. Man, when I see Big Josh here, I was like, first they took away his fucking bears.
Yeah.
Then they take away the women who was with him. They took away his axe, bro. They just give him a stick at this point. And they even took away his lumberjack hat. They took away
Well,
everything
I
that made
mean,
this guy cool. They took away little by little.
he
And I'm like,
sucks.
you're just
That's why the
setting
character sucks.
no, man, he's not. He doesn't suck. They just set him up to fail, man. They just took away everything. This is like the four. Like I said, this is like another the fourth no stakes, no feud, just quick pace match. But I will say this about these two guys: there's no stakes to this match at all. But it is a very quick paced, hard hitting match. The story of this match is Richard is much smaller than Big Josh, so he is trying to outpace Big Josh. But the thing is, Josh is just too powerful, and he's constantly catching Ricky Morton, and he's just fucking hitting him. So Richard Morton trying to get the upper hand, he has to fight even tougher
Mhm.
than Big Josh. Like he has to toughen up. So he's like ripping Josh's shirt, hitting him harder, just trying to overcome. And during this match, Jesse Ventura is making a whole bunch of Big Josh smells jokes, which I like. He goes like, "You see how that flannel rips so easily? It's because he never washes." I thought that was really funny. And then he goes, when Richard Morton's like trying to like evade Big Josh, he goes, "It's because Josh smells. That's why he's trying to avoid it." I like this. This match was good. I like the story of this match. I love the commentary. It was making me laugh. And during this match, Big Josh has most of the advantage. He's just too big and he's just like too powerful. But Richard starts getting the advantage when he starts wrestling a mat king. Because on the mat, they're on equal playing fields. And
Yes.
that's when Richard Morton starts getting the advantage. So I'm like, this is a great story to telling. Josh does hit some great moves. He does like a belly to belly suplex, a fucking butterfly suplex, and he hits his Northern Exposure sit out splash, kind of like the earthquake splash, finishing move. The referee, who is Bill Alfonso, goes 1, 2, and then he doesn't count the 3, even though Richard Morton doesn't kick out. And Bill Alfonso, realizing he fucked up, he just quickly raises Josh's hand, who looks a little pissed off because Bill Alfonso kind of fucked up what was otherwise a very good match. I like this match. What did you think?
I couldn't get into it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. It's a no stakes match, but the story of this match I thought was told very well by
No,
both.
I hear what you're saying. I can't stand I can't stand Richard Morton. I can't, and I couldn't get into it, and I didn't really like it. But I don't know. I mean, listen, Big Jaw. I mean, what's his name? Matt Bourne is a
Mm-hmm.
good wrestler, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. If you were a wrestler, right, and you're put into this match with like, you're like, all right, so what's our feud? No, just go have a wrestling match. And you're like, fuck, bro. And then you go to your opponent, like, dude, what do you want to do? And he's like, let's just fucking go hard, bro. Let's just fucking go. We got nothing else. And then you're going hard. And despite all the fucking um block, like hurdles that this company's put in front of you, no fucking storyline, nothing. They only give you 7 minutes. You're still having an amazing match that the referee fucks up at the end. Would you be mad?
Yeah, I'd be mad.
Yeah, yeah. Because
I
if you
mean,
watch,
I mean,
Big Josh looked fucking annoyed.
they're not
Like
giving
he looked pissed off. Like, he was like, "What the fuck?"
they're not giving Big Josh a lot to work with, sadly. So
Yeah, yeah. I would have
I'm
been
gonna
so
use
annoyed if like I'm
one
having this
second.
great match and you fucking didn't count the finish. You fucking whatever.
Exactly, 1 second. All right, so that was Big Josh, Richard Morton. What's up next, brother?
So after that, Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff, they're talking about the next match, and they go over how it's Z-Man versus Brian Pillman. And they go, these guys are former friends. I don't
Yeah.
know. Are they still friends? We don't know. And they even show you a recap of the argument that Z-Man and Pillman get into over Brian Pillman's belt to set up this next match, which is the 7th match for the light heavyweight championship. Z-Man comes out first, and he gets pyros that I don't know if they told him about because it fucking scared him. You see when he was like, oh,
He's like,
shit.
whoa!
Yeah. Plays it off, and Brian Pillman comes in. So this match, it starts off evened out. They're both hitting the same moves, like both hitting drop kicks. They're just on equal playing fields. And Ventura, just Jim Ross mentions in this match because Jim Ross loves football. He mentions that Brian Pillman was a nose tackle, and Jesse Ventura cannot believe that little Brian Pillman was a nose
Oh
tackle.
yeah, I remember that. He was like, no, he was. Yeah, he's like
A
pissed.
nose tackle, a nose tackle, and if Jared goes, yeah, like Ron Simmons, because Ron Simmons was a nose tackle, and it goes, well, that's a nose tackle, I believe. And he goes, yeah, well, he was. And Brian Pillman was. And he goes, nose tackle. He just keeps saying it over and over again, like he doesn't believe
I
it.
can't believe that this. Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
fun.
Both men, like I said, Z-Man. The story of this match is Z-Man and Pillman are friends, but they're competing. And in the beginning, they start off equal. They're just hitting the same moves. They just can't get the best of each other. And as it's going, they start getting a little bit more vicious with each other. Like Pillman starts chopping him really hard. Z-Man starts booting Pillman while he's already down, which Jesse Ventura mentions. Look at him. Now he's booting his friend while his friend's down in a vulnerable position. And then Pillman starts focusing and honing in on Z-Man's left leg. Z-Man, he catches Pillman in a power slam for a near fall, and a girl in the front row, she fucking goes crazy and gets up out of her seat because Z-Man almost won, and Jim Ross mentioned it, getting out of their seats for this one. And after some more near falls, they do a whole bunch of near falls and some high flying moves, and crowds getting into every single near fall and every single high flying move. They run and they fucking slide in the ring. Both men are down. Z-Man gets up and he starts faking his leg injury, and Pillman kind of goes like, I feels bad, but I got to take advantage of this. And he goes up on top and he jumps, and fucking Z-Man was faking that injury. Big boots him right in the face. Goes for another cover. It's another near fall. People are going crazy. At this point, Z-Man is starting to get the advantage, and he starts getting cocky, and he starts posturing to the crowd, which is gonna end up being his downfall, because as he goes up for the top turnbuckle and hits a flying drop kick, Pillman moves out of the way and hits a jackknife cover for the win. What did you think about this match?
I liked it a lot. I really thought it was good. I have been waiting for these two to fight for years. However, I wish they had more matches. I do think this was, like we're gonna come to it, but and if I remember correctly, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels have a really, really good match at the '92 Survivor Series, but they have an even better match at Survivor Series '97. And it's because they become more familiar with themselves and become like true rivals. And I kind of feel like these guys had the same thing in them. Like they needed to keep having matches with one another. So I liked it a lot. It's definitely a step up from everything we've seen on this show so far, but I still think it was missing something and it could have been better.
Okay, I would say this, if you ever want to know what Z-Man is like as a wrestler, this is the match to watch. This is probably his best match,
Yes,
right?
it's fantastic.
I mean, that I've seen so far. And I would even go as far and say this was the match of the night. This is better than any other match on this pay-per-view. I think people should go out of their way to watch it, because if you ever watch any Z-Man match, this is the one to watch. You don't need to watch anything else from that he does.
I
Um,
would say that. I would say you're right about that.
yeah, and you know what? Starting from the Big Josh match now, moving forward, everything's gonna be really pretty fucking good.
Yes.
Match number 8. It is not for any titles on the line per se, but for the number one contenders for the IWGP tag titles, which is the tag titles for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
New Japan.
Yes.
Dave Meltzer.
Dave Meltzer he was loving this match. He had a boner the whole time.
Dave Meltzer gave it 9 stars from the intro because they said New Japan.
Dude, the thing is, it would have gotten 10 if it was in Japan.
Yeah,
So yeah, you got to give him that. Takayuki Iizuka and Tatsumi Fujinami, who just got into the Hall of Fame, are the challengers from Japan. Now, Iizuka, some of you guys are like, that name sounds familiar. If you started watching New Japan from about like when Okada and Kenny Omega were starting to, when they started getting their match series, started getting people to like America to watch New Japan, right?
Yeah.
Iizuka was still there. But he looked very different. I don't know if you remember, there was this weird bald-headed guy who had a long goatee beard, and he would carry around this fucking metal like claw. You remember this guy?
Yeah.
That's this guy.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, he looks so different, right?
Yeah, he does. He looks really different.
Yeah. Anyway, Iizuka he would actually retire in New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2019. So he wrestled that fucking far.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's actually not I thought he was super ugly at the end, but he's actually not a bad looking guy. But anyways, it's gonna get ugly because they're facing the Steiner brothers. And let me tell you something, fuck man, Steiners are crazy. During this match, Ventura brings up how, the Steiners are from Michigan. You know what's in Michigan? All those car factories and all these, these Japanese car makers are putting Americans out of work and shit. I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was very funny. So the match starts off with Scott Steiner and Fujinami, and Scott Steiner does his move where he fucking has Fujinami in like a power slam position, and he backflips into a power slam, but he lands on his fucking head, right? But it has no effect on him. He gets right up, and then he hits the same backflip fucking a power slam on Iizuka. I was like, yo, Scott Steiner was a fucking beast. You know what? When I was watching this match, he like fucking does like a tiger bomb on Iizuka, and the crowd goes crazy because remember, this is like 1992. You don't see tiger bombs like that, And when I was watching this, I was like, man, if it was like a perfect world, I would have loved to have watched a prime young Scott Steiner versus Brock Lesnar. I think that would have been like, oh my god, a dream match.
Scott Steiner could have been Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, dude.
That's the craziest thing. Is like WWE when they went there, Bruce Pritchard pitched to Vince, what if Scott Steiner just debuts the Rumble and wins it? And Scott Steiner didn't want to like leave his brother, and Vince didn't see it. But he could have been Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he could have. The guy is he's a beast. He literally is a beast. Like
he is one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. People shit on him because WCW, and he's kind of like when he turns into the Big Papa Pump, he's kind of like the post boy for shitty WCW. But even dude, when we get to 2000, he was having great matches in 2000. It's only after the shutdown happens that he becomes not that great. But man, was he a fucking great wrestler.
Yeah, he was amazing here. And so after that Tiger Bomb, he takes Iizuka and he puts him in a Canadian rack. And Rick Steiner goes up on top to do a fucking elbow drop. And as he's doing that, his right knee goes right into Iizuka's face. And Iizuka's face his right side of his face starts swelling up and his nose is bleeding. And Ventura points it out. He goes, oh, Iizuka, he's like his eyes shut. His eyes shutting down and his face is swelling up. His nose is like bleeding. He's probably broken. I mean, the Steiner brothers are like, it's kind of like watching a car crash because like they are a bit. Part of the reason why their match is so good is because they're so careless with their opponents, right? Rick Steiner, he German suplexes Fujinami. He fucking lands right on his head. He just fucking like throws him. Fujinami lands on his head. Fujinami does this thing where he has Rick Steiner on his shoulders in an electric chair position, and Iizuka climbs into the top and hits a crossbody. Rick fucking flips it into a body slam. It's unreal. Like, even the commentators are like, I've never seen this. What the fuck was that? And as the match is continually progressing, dude, the Steiners don't even look tired. Like, they're sweating, but they're still hitting, like, big moves. Like, Scott Steiner, like, midway into the match, is still hitting, like, pump handle slams with no effort. You could tell the other guys are getting tired. Like, Iizuka misses a leg drop and shit. Like, he just looks bad, right? And the finish comes when Rick Steiner, who's also a beast himself, does a belly-to-belly suplex on Iizuka from the second turnbuckle for the win. It's a very physical match. I am now to the point where I think maybe the Steiners are my favorite tag team of all time.
Wow, but doing this journey, wow. I love this match. This match, the last I know you like the fucking Big Josh match. These last three matches, like when WCW does things right, they fucking do it right. And this is one of them. This is a match that's all about the strong style of New Japan. It's all about showcasing the Steiners. And oh, by the way, check out this shirt. Arrive. This is Steve Austin shirt. Arrive.
It's the Steve Austin WWF, right?
Yeah. But he, it counts. He's on the show. But this was a fucking dude. These guys are hitting haymakers. I love this. Yeah, this match was fantastic. The
You know what's
Steiners,
crazy about this match too is that not once did I believe that these Japanese wrestlers were going to beat the Steiners because the Steiners are just so dominating. You know, like
yeah,
they're just like it's like a tag team of two Brock Lesnars in one team. It's just like they're both just
yeah,
throwing
and
people
you
around.
know, they just they don't get their due, and they get their due, but they kind of don't get their
In
due.
my opinion, I put them above the Rock and Roll Express. I put them above Legion of Doom,
Yeah,
right?
I agree with both
So
those guys.
I put them above even the Hart Foundation, all the British Bulldogs. You know why? Longevity. Look how long are they are a tag team, whereas in the Hart Foundation, they're only a tag team for a short amount of time, right?
I don't know. 85 to 91 is not that short.
Steiner Brothers are longer than that.
Well, the Steiners go from 89 to 98.
And they're dominating in multiple promotions too.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like the Steiners. I'm not gonna say they're my favorite tag team yet, but this year, 92, they are fucking delivering. They're
Yeah.
hitting their stride. Both men are hitting their stride as performers.
They're not your favorite tag team, right? You reserve
Not
that
yet.
right for the Young Bucks?
Yo, yeah, the Young Bucks are just
Yeah.
so much better. Yeah. Dude, I would love it. I would love it to see the Steiners hit like fucking tiger bombs on those Young Bucks
Oh
and
my god, dude.
out of
I
nowhere.
can't think of a better tag team right now than the Steiner Brothers. I'm just like watching the Steiner Brothers. I'm like, man, they're so good, and we haven't even got to them in WWF yet.
Well, they
You
toned
know?
down a lot. They're not hitting. They're
Yeah,
not.
but I'm like, man, these guys, they're beasts. Like I'm watching beasts. Like we just mentioned before this match, the Steiner versus Lex Luger and Sting is like, I'm like, that's probably one of the best WCW matches I've ever seen, right? And now here's another fucking like, this is a really, I would say recommend people watch this match as well, right? And I'm like, dude, how many classics are these guys gonna fucking have? So I think it's the Steiners, but anyway, let's get to the main event. Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff, they do a long analysis about the war games. Ventura and Jim Ross, they do some analysis as well. And Ventura makes a good point. He goes, Sting Squadron, but it's just a team of dudes. They're just all individual. Dangerous Alliance is stable. They're an actual team. So he gives the edge to Dangerous Alliance. And they do fireworks, the cage gets lowered, and the rules are explained. We're gonna go into our final match, match number 9, the War Games match. Dangerous Alliance come out first. They got Medusa coming out. They look great as a squad. Speaking of squad, the Squadron comes out next. And Barry Windham and representing Sting's Squadron and Steve Austin representing the Alliance, they start off. Barry Windham grinds Steve Austin's head into the cage. So, Austin is the first one to start bleeding. And they go right into the camera, and Barry Windham just fucking starts biting Steve Austin's bleeding forehead. I'm like, ugh.
One
Ugh.
second. One second. Go. So he's biting the forehead. You didn't like that?
No, that's like when fucking Hangman Page drank Swerve's blood or
Or
something.
Abdullah the Butcher licked the head. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Well, Barry.
Um,
Well, I mean, that's why. That's my thing. I would say to Hangman Page when Hangman Page did his that stupid fuck. I hate that fucking. Hangman Page is fucking garbage.
but
Hangman
if
Page is
that's
living like getting.
stupid, how is this not stupid? When Barry Windham's biting,
I don't like.
Steve
I
Austin's
like
head?
the spot. I didn't. I
Yeah,
never said I like the spot. What I'm saying to you, I never said I like it. I like the match. I don't like the spot. I don't have to
Oh,
like every spot to like a match. What I would say to you is Abdul the Butcher and fucking Barry Windham did this blood licking spot. Where are they? Do you want to wind up where they are? Like they're nobody. You know?
yeah. Mhm.
Mm.
So they got to do a coin toss to see which side's going to be next, and the Alliance wins the coin toss, and Rick Rude comes in next, and they start double teaming Barry Windham. Then Ricky Steamboat comes in next, and he comes in with a really huge pop. But before he could get there, Barry Windham is already bleeding now because of the double team. Arn Anderson is next, and then after him, it's Dustin Rhodes. And then Larry Zbyszko comes in, and as soon as he comes in, he starts getting beaten on right away by Dustin, which I thought was actually kind of fun because that's a nice change of pace. Because most of these war games, somebody comes in and just start attacking.
Mhm.
Darius Zabisco's in the comedy spot. He comes in, he just starts getting his ass kicked right away. I was like, that's fucking kind of funny. Then Medusa climbs up on top of the cage and she drops a cell phone into the ring from the top of the
The old
cage.
school cell phones that could they're like bricks.
Yeah, yeah. And Sting, he climbs up to the top to like yell at her, and then she just climbs back down in a fucking. It's like a fence, and it's like sagging. I thought she was gonna fall through. And I was watching this going, that's kind of stupid because she could have just put it through any side of the fucking wall. Why did she have to climb to the top? You know, it's just
I
kind of
think
stupid.
Arn's in the middle of the ring when she does it.
I guess, yeah. Arn Anderson does get, and he starts using the phone, but it's just like, I
Maybe
just
he
thought it was.
knows she got to the top so the referees can stop her because if she does it on the side, there's referees around. Like, what are you doing?
I guess you're right. It just kind of,
Nobody can get her on the top of the cage.
yeah. That's okay. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. The Sting comes in and he cleans house. He's just like boom, 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 everybody. He throws Arn Anderson headfirst into a cage, and so Arn Anderson is now bleeding. Dustin Rhodes is bleeding. Everybody be bleeding. Um, Bobby, my Bobby comes into the ring with no reaction. He gets nothing. He doesn't even when the heels were coming in, even they were getting boo when Bobby comes in. It's fucking even it's silence. Even Larry Zbyszko, when he comes in, he gets beaten on right away. So people, you can hear people laughing, right?
Mhm.
Bobby in, like it's just nothing at all. Rick Rude starts loosening up a turnbuckle, right? And during this match in the beginning, the cameras get close up to Paulie going over the game plan, and he starts mentioning the corner. Get him into that corner. We need him in the corner. And Jim Ross even mentions, you didn't mention anything about a corner, and you see Rick Rude loosen the turnbuckle and you're like, maybe this is the corner that they keep talking about. Um, and what happens is the top rope starts sagging in one of the rings. It's loose because he's trying to take off the turnbuckle. Nick Koloff gets in last, and on the good, and he extends his hand to help out Sting, but Sting's like kind of weary of this guy because they've been
They had the feud
feuding.
last year.
Yeah, it's like I don't know about this allegiance, but uh Koloff does save Sting, and then they finally like double high five and they fucking hug, which gets a huge pop from the fucking
Feud, like
crowd.
the pop was insane.
Yeah, I don't think it was as big as when Ricky Steamboat came in.
It
Go
was still
back
a
and
big
watch it.
pop. You know,
Yeah,
for
it's a big
me,
pop.
because again, we're not watching the weekly shows, so this might have
Uh,
been a thing that they harp on the weekly shows. But
mhm.
I was not invested in anything Sting and Nikita Koloff did a year ago. So for them reuniting to get that big of a pop was pretty impressive to me. But the way I gotta say, this was the best I've ever seen Nikita Koloff in this match. Hit
What did he exactly do after he hugged Sting?
the way he threw Sting out of the way and hugged Sting, the way he it was like a good acting performance from Nikita Koloff. Like it made me like him. Like everything, like the way he came in and helped Sting and da da da, and then him and Sting cleared house. He held it role. Listen, this guy could barely do anything. We've watched him now for like fucking how many years? Barely put. I don't think he's good at anything, and this was like his best performance. And he retires in October of a 92. So
Wow, did he get like okay? All right. So,
Vader
anyways,
kind of injures him, and that's it.
his dick get injured? What happened?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, like, dude, he has a match with Ric Flair. He made events Ric Flair he made events Stargate Ric Flair, and it fucking stinks. And he was really good in this, I thought.
I mean, he barely did anything.
But that's all I need him to do because you get
So
more to do. I mean,
yeah. Anyway,
what he did was memorable. So there you
so
go.
what he did was he shoved Sting out of the way from danger, and then he hugs Sting. And then afterwards, the turnbuckle that Rick was trying to loosen up, it finally comes off, and Bobby Eaton starts like he's putting the turnbuckle together. And Justin Ventura goes, "Why is he putting the turnbuckle back together?" I thought it was kind of funny. Anyway, Larry Zbyszko picks up the turnbuckle that's now off the ring post, and he goes to hit Sting, but Sting moves out of the way and he hits Bobby Eaton on the arm with it by accident, and then Sting shoves away Zbyszko, and then Sting puts an armbar on Bobby Eaton, the same arm, for Bobby Eaton to submit for Sting Squadron to win. And I was like, that's the finish. There's nothing else gonna happen with Koloff and Sting, and that's just
No,
it. Like
I
that's
love
just
that
it. Like
finish.
they had like that fucking use a turnbuckle and hit him in the corner, and now he submits. And super anticlimactic in my opinion.
Oh,
Afterwards,
really? I thought it was great.
I did not think that was great.
Here's why I think it was great. Here's why I think it was
Yeah,
great.
tell me first, because I may disagree
Because
on
we
that.
sit and we watch AEW matches where everyone goes through the fucking wall, they get lit on fire, they get fucking shot 6 times, and they kick out at 2, and then like they get pinned on a bullshit thing. Here, the Dangerous Alliance fucks up, and Sting, who's never really ruthless, he's never a ruthless guy. He takes full advantage of it because Sting is like, if you think about it, it's a real fight. I don't like, like we want wrestling matches to go like an hour or whatever. Fight forever. Sting is like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. I don't want to fucking, I don't want to keep fighting these fucking people. So he fucking, I'm gonna break your fucking arm. You need to submit right now. Like you need to submit. I don't give a fuck. And Bobby Eaton like submits, and then they get out of there. It's like because if this is a real fight, if you're really trapped in a cage with 5 guys who want to kill you, why would you want to be there the whole fucking night? I just want to get out of here. Anything I can do to win, I'm gonna win. And I really like that. And Bobby Eaton is selling it at the end. And like the bad guys are mad, but they're more mad at Zabisco, not Bobby Eaton. Like they get it. Like, yeah, you might be injured. Like you had to submit. I liked it. It's like that's the thing I like about WCW, and Ric Flair does it a lot. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm just trying to win. If you get entertained, that's on you. But I got to get the fuck out of here. Because that's a lot. That's a lot. And Ric Flair does that a lot with Kerry Von Erich in World Class.
I think like if they're gonna do that, they shouldn't have alluded to so many things, like about the corner and
But
about.
Sting is like taking advantage of a moment. Like here's a moment that no one planned. I'm just gonna be ruthless and take advantage of it.
And it's the whole thing with Koloff and Sting. If you were gonna do this, it should have played into the finish, like
But
where
see,
Koloff
the
really
finish is
shows
supposed to be
like
more about
helping.
Larry Zabisco turning face.
I just was. I just this match this didn't do it for me, man. It just I don't think
Did it
there's
for me. Did it for me a lot.
it's nothing about this is memorable except for how unmemorable the ending is.
Oh,
To me,
I think you're wrong. I think everything about it is memorable. This is my thing about a War Games that I like about this and not the WWF one. A lot of these WWF multi-man matches are like everyone lays on the ground while 2 guys do spots around them, right?
yeah,
And they get knocked down and 2 guys get up and they do spots. Here, it's like 10 guys just beating the shit out of each other. Like they're just beating the shit out of each other. And I fucking like that's what a war games to me is about. It's like this is like 5 guys just destroying each other. And from if wrestling is real, and I think you're thinking about it more from like we have to have the friendship play in the match. It did play into the match. Nikita Koloff proved to Sting, you can trust me. Let's go to work. And then when Sting saw an advantage, he took it. Like you don't need every storyline to take place in the finish. It did take place the story of the match. They realized they could trust one another now. That's all you need. And Bobby Eaton and Larry Zbyszko fucked up. Sting took advantage of it, and that's it. The match is over, and it's time for Sting to move on. He's the world champion. Why would he want to be in that cage for another 20 minutes and get further injured and then like not be able to defend the title?
that part makes sense, but it's just like wrestling. It's not real. You can set it
But
up.
I want the people in the ring to treat it like it's real.
I just this match did nothing for me.
Like I did a lot for me. I think it's the best war game match of all time.
You know what, brother? You and Eddie Kingston, brother.
Yeah. But like I want like my problem with a lot of AEW is they don't treat it like it's real. They treat it like, oh okay, I'll leave. Especially these Hangman Page Swerve Scott matches. Oh okay, I just fucking DDT. I just fucking hit Hangman with a fucking concrete block. Now I'm gonna do like 5 moves to him. And
No,
it's
I
like,
mean, but I'm not even comparing this to AEW. I'm not even comparing it to anything. I'm just thinking like it's. I just felt like there was this like so much was set up that didn't need to be set up if you were going to have this kind of match. You know what I'm saying? It's
what do
just
you mean?
like that whole corner thing. Oh, like you got to take them to the corner. Why would you even bring up a close up of that and have the commentators mention that and stuff, and it be so like
But they did. They got the thing out. They're going to use it as a
I
weapon.
get, yeah, and the I don't know
When
the
they got it
fucking
out, Larry Zbyszko's whole plan is, I'm going to beat Sting with this. Then we're going to make him submit. They have to get you to submit.
I don't know, yeah, and the whole Koloff thing. I was just like when he hugged him and that was it. And I was like, that's it. That's all. That was it. I was just
But
like,
what else do you want to do? Like, what else do you want to do?
I wanted it to be like Sting's like in a bad place, right?
He was, and
And
Koloff saved him.
no, near the finish, near with the finish, and
But
because of
why do you
Koloff's
why did they do that a second time?
no, they shouldn't have done it a second time. That's what I'm saying. That should have happened at the end.
But the end was they're trying to so after this, Larry Zbyszko turns face, right? He becomes
Yeah.
the finish is the goal is we have to get Larry Zbyszko to be a good guy. We have to get Dangerous Alliance to turn on Larry Zbyszko. That's the goal. So Larry Zbyszko fucks up and costs them the match.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the finish. So like they had the moment where Nikita and Sting realize they really are friends, but then you have to have Larry Zbyszko cost them the match. And that's what the finish was. That's the goal. The goal is we have to turn Larry Zbyszko face.
You know what we should do? See, unlike we should ask our listeners what they think
Yes.
because
What do you
I'm
think of the
not
match?
seeing this finish. Yeah.
I listen. I really enjoyed it.
You know, I'm not the only one because I'm reading this and somebody's like an armbar. I'll say it again, an armbar. Like some people are going like, "That's the finish." It's armbar, and it's like, yeah.
But hold on. If an armbar doesn't hurt, then why would anyone do it? Like that's my thing. It's like it's an armbar, but it's because the guy has a hurt arm. Like I get what he's saying.
That's
Like,
not what I heard. Somebody else wrote that.
no,
Yeah.
no, I get what that guy's saying, but it's like, but these moves are supposed to hurt. If these moves don't hurt, why would anyone do them? Like, you're trying to win the match. Like, in the fantasy world of wrestling, Eddie Kingston, big fat triple cheeseburger Eddie Kingston, is walking out at World's End. In my mind, the character is like, I just want to beat Jon Moxley right away. Why would Eddie Kingston want to wrestle Jon Moxley for 30 minutes? That doesn't make any sense. If he could pin Jon Moxley in a minute and get the fuck out of there with his triple cheeseburger, why wouldn't he do that?
All right. So we're gonna have to agree to disagree on our view of the last match. But
It's
overall,
the best match
right,
of the show.
no, I would not say that. I'm gonna say the Z-Man match was the best match of the night.
You wait, you think the
Followed
Z-Man match is better than the Steiner's match? That's insane.
Yeah, it's better than the Steiner's match because the Steiner's match, it's good, but it's so fucking one-sided.
I would put War Games, Steiner's, Z-Man.
I would do the Z-Man match first, the Steiner Brothers match second, Big Josh versus Richard Morton, which is a better story told.
Okay, no one's going to agree with you
match.
that Big Josh
okay.
is a better match.
I don't need shitty, stupid wrestling fans who give this War Games match 5 stars, but Hogan versus Andre -4 stars. I don't care if those people.
I give both matches 5 stars. So
yeah. So I don't care what those stupid star people think.
I like this. I like this War Games match, and you know what? When I was watching Nikita Koloff and Sting, their interaction, when Christian reunites with Edge, it should be like how Nikita and Sting did what they did. It should be like Edge is like, "Can I trust you?" And then Christian throws Edge out of the way and takes the hit for him.
But not before they allude to something that is barely done in the match. They go like, "Oh, watch out for this!"
Listen, this was better than the blood and guts matches. This was
anyway. We should ask if you're a listener, let us know who do you agree with. Do you guys think this War Games '92 match is deserving of the praise that it gets, or was it just like, it's just a match? Not the worst match of this night, but I don't think
to me, I agree. Listen, I'm not saying it's the best. I think the best match in WCW history is Rey Mysterio Psychosis.
No, just in this pay-per-view. I think
it's the best match in pay-per-view. I also think it's the best War Games match of all time.
Okay. I would even say you don't even need to watch this match if you're a wrestling fan.
Well, I think
anyway, let's ask the fans what they think. Overall, did you like the show?
No, I didn't like the show. I liked the last 3 matches, but it is a slog to get those. It's painful to get to those last 3 matches.
It is that first hour.
I don't like this show. They do themselves a disservice by fucking boring you out of your fucking mind before they give you bangers. It's fucking insane to me.
I would say Yeah, you don't have to watch the whole thing, but start watching from the big Josh match on. Yeah, watch that
Um,
War Games match, see how bad it is.
yeah, shut up. I love the War Games match. Best War Games match of all time. All right, guys, let's go over the next 4 weeks. Next week, Beach Blast 92. Rick, listen, you think you're bored now. Rick Rude, Ricky Steamboat, 30-man Ironman match. Okay. Great American Bash 92. Sting versus Vader. SummerSlam 92. British Bulldog versus Bret Hart. And then Halloween Havoc 92, which is regarded as one of the worst shows of all time. Sting versus Jake Roberts. So what are you looking forward to, brother?
I actually want to see Sting versus Vader. Like, so at this
That's right.
point, Vader was in WCW, and then he's just like gone. He's in Japan and some shit, right?
He must be going back and forth because like we have not seen him since Starcade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We
It's
haven't
bad.
seen him in
Yeah.
forever. Yeah, yeah. So, what about you, man? Because I miss Vader at this point. What about you?
I'm looking forward to watching SummerSlam. I would say I'm looking forward to Sting versus Vader. However, the rest of the show is a tag team tournament.
Oh
Uh,
God, why do they?
they keep
Why
doing.
does what is WCW and their fetish for tag team tournaments?
I don't
They have
know,
so
but
many, dude. They have so many.
they keep fucking doing it. And but I'm out of those four shows, I'm most excited for SummerSlam '92. I never really thought Bret Hart, British Bulldog, is that fucking great. And I want to just be locked in and watch it and see if I can see what everyone on the planet sees. Because everyone says that's one of the best.
You know what? That's how I feel about this War Games match, right? So,
Well, we'll
um,
see. We'll see
we'll
how
see.
we feel about British Bulldog and Bret Hart. Guys, you enjoyed the podcast. This was a big episode tonight.
Yeah,
Um,
but
yeah, you can follow us on Instagram, Goose's Wrestling Pod. Subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you like the War Games match. Also, in addition to that, follow me on TikTok, Ray Goots Comedy, and also we have a Patreon. No one's subscribed to it yet. We're gonna keep promoting it. Goots for Life, Ray Goots Comedy on Patreon. Subscribe. There's a link in the description. $1 to support the podcast. $5 to see the video version. No one's taking up to the $5, but whatever. Hey, listen, it's better than what we were doing before, kind of in theory. So yeah, enjoy, subscribe. And Angela, you excited to go to the beach next week?
I am, brother. Going to the beach in January.
All right, yeah, Beach Blast 92 is next week. We will see you next time. And remember, Eddie Kingston is the triple cheeseburger champion.